show. Today we have a very special guest who's not only a guest speaker, but who's now like my family and younger brother. So before we start this podcast, this episode, I'm going to let Ceran introduce himself and give a little bit about his background as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Ceran Sokhi. I'm a Formula 3 test driver and my goal is to be the world's first Sikh Formula 1 driver. Thank you, Pooch, for having me.
No, you're welcome. So today we're sort of going to discuss, first of all, just about like your journey and goals. So this is the first time actually I'm meeting Ceran. So I saw Ceran's sort of Instagram post, I think it was end of last year. And I was so intrigued because I watched your video, and obviously because in sort of people from our background, you know, they don't go into Formula One or just, you know, we do the basic, like we study and we become doctors, engineers or pharmacists or lawyers. So I was very intrigued. So I think I messaged you straight away, isn't it? Yeah. And then we got to speak and we got to know each other. And then obviously we're here now, obviously shooting this podcast. So I just want to sort of like ask a little bit about sort of like your journey from obviously how you started, how you got into it, how this became your passion, and sort of like your goals for the next 3 to 5 years.
So I was always into like little toy cars when I was about 5 years
old. Like all boys, isn't it?
All boys, yeah. I had a God knows how many boxes I've got now.
Did you used to have that mat and you would like drive?
Yeah,
my brothers used to have that.
I had about probably 3 of the same mat, and I used to just make one massive map of all the mats. Yeah. But we were all like racing fanatics at home, but never thought of actually started to race it ourselves.
Yeah.
Because Dad, he was always into Formula 1.
Okay.
And so my first actual time in a go-kart was in Avonmouth karting. I was with one of my old school friends back then.
Yeah.
And my friend's mum actually tried to say that like Ceran is actually quite fast.
Yeah.
But back then, Mum was just like, no, like forget it, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we went. Then a year or two later, we went on a family holiday to Cyprus. I was about 11 years old, and from what I remember, we literally just got out of a water park, and I was like, Dad, there's a go-kart track, let's go there.
Yeah.
And Dad was like, okay. These karts were literally just the frame, so there was no body work. It was just a metal chassis.
Yeah.
And so I was in like my flip-flops, shorts, and some bad biker hat. And even though it was just a half an hour session, it was when my family actually noticed that, okay, he's actually developing a different character.
Yeah.
As before that, my parents put me through all types of sports: football, rugby, tennis, cricket, hockey, you name it. Got to a point where my mum went, what can this kid just like? After 2-3 months, he's mum on board. What next? And that's when she goes, it had to be one of the most dangerous sports.
Yeah.
To be. And just pursued it ever since. Then the following year, we had our own go-kart in the garage, and every time I got back from school, I was in the garage with my dad, maintaining it, fixing it, getting it ready for whatever practice is happening.
Yeah.
And have done it ever since.
So you started from like a young age, and what, you're 21 now?
22.
22, okay. Yeah, so you've done it. But do you know what I realised? Well, individuals that, you know, become successful after a certain age within their 20s and, you know, within a sport, is always something that they've had from a young age. Is always, and that's how it starts off, isn't it? So obviously, you know, you had this skill, like no one knew about it. Then obviously your parents acknowledged it, and then you've turned that into a scene, which is going to be now a passion, like you're passionate for it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I've always realised that, and I think the main thing is because I know your family support you a lot, and especially coming from my background, like I said before, like our sort of like coach, our parents and grandparents are only just into the main careers, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the fact that they support you, so like when you sort of decided, like what was their sort of opinions, and like did they back you up and stuff like that?
So with my parents in particular, that they didn't force me or my sister to do a particular subject.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
So my sister, she's an event manager, and that's what she loves. The only thing that my parents do is they push us to do stuff that we love.
Yeah.
And they
that's
want
the
us
right
to
way.
do the best.
Yeah.
My parents didn't want me and my sister to be a doctor or
The stereotype stuff. Yeah.
Scientists, yeah, stereotypes. No thanks. Please don't shoot me down. But so it was so like my dad, he's into his like careers and logistics, which is obviously how it's linked with my sister with the event management.
Yeah.
Mum's a baker.
Yeah.
So they both somehow tie together.
So it comes hand in hand, isn't it? Yeah.
No, I'm the one who actually went, I want to drive a race car.
Yeah.
Which the parents were like, you had to be the one that had to be different.
Yeah.
Obviously they take the mick out of me when I first chose it, but they said, event management, careers and logistics, baker, and the guy who just wants to just race cars.
Yeah.
But for my dad, who's an F1 like fanatic, like he's the main one who influenced all of us.
Yeah.
As his era of Formula One was Schumacher, and that's who I look up to.
Yeah.
And Ferrari is his team, is all our team. And so like in 2013 we had a Ferrari go-kart, which
that's awesome.
That surprised me with the new sticker kit when I came home from school on a Friday evening.
Yeah.
So I was like, nice.
Yeah.
And ironically that year I won the championship with the livery as well.
That's awesome.
So I was like, right, okay, I'm
Yeah.
doing something right. And just my dad's just over the moon as he's living his dream through me.
Yeah.
And the first time I sat in an F3 car, bless him, he was in tears because he couldn't believe that I was actually in an F3.
An F3 car,
race car, because we didn't have any type of experience before that either. We gave up the karting career in 2017, had a 2-year gap, and I'm not gonna lie, it did knock me back a little bit.
Yeah.
But then as soon as the F3 started to appear, then the morality and mentality just came back again.
Yeah.
So
No, it's going back to what you said, like when you took a little break. And you know what I realized, like doesn't matter what sort of career that you pursue, or you know what you sort of want to go into, I realized that somehow with everyone that I read, even like books that I read or films that I watched or people that I've spoken to, even like for myself as well, what I realized that there's always some sort of gap, and obviously the universe or God gives you that gap, because He wants you to sort of develop in a certain way, or maybe like I don't know, see things from a different perspective, and then He kind of brings you back. And I realized that a lot. So within those 2 years, like sort of like, what were your thoughts, or like what did you sort of go off and do, or did you think that okay, this is the end of it, or like what did you think
then about feeling as if it's ended? That's how I felt.
Yeah.
As I loved racing, well, I love it still. I love it so much that I would do anything for it.
Yeah.
So when karting ended, my parents realized that they already knew that my mentality is just gonna drop, as racing is, in a way, I'm not saying I rely on it, but it's how it motivates me every day.
Yeah,
and
of course.
And knowing that motivation has kind of disappeared is when I had a massive knockback.
Yeah.
That I had a fear that I wouldn't actually be racing at all.
Yeah.
And in an odd way, it actually motivated my parents to actually say, right, we need to get this kid back in the car.
Yeah.
As well, see, we sold everything back then. But as soon as Dad told me about 4 a.m. on the day, he goes, Ceran, we're gonna go to a racetrack and actually meet an F3 team.
Yeah.
The life came back.
Yeah.
And I just jumped out of bed. I was like, right, let's go. and then actually seeing the F3 cars in person, I was genuinely shocked. I was like, I'm not seeing it on TV. They're actually a few feet in front of me.
Yeah.
And that's how it really just kicked off. And like I started training again. My kind of, from my own knowledge, the health, like the nutrition side of things started to come back in.
Yeah.
It like kicked me into gear that, it's not over. So sort yourself out.
It's there, but it's like, yeah, you're right. And do you know what I realized? It's always people, I've been in that same boat, and obviously other people that I've spoken to as well, that we think because of that little break, things end, but then we don't realize that, like you said, obviously you go back, you worked on yourself, and then you came back to it. And also you're going to pursue it even more now. I think at that time we just think, it's ended, but it's not. It's always when the time's right. And obviously I realized that sometimes it's not the right time, and you take that break, you step a bit back, and then you go, and then when everything aligns, then that's it. Then because then you're unstoppable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how you felt then when your dad said that to you in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll never forget that reaction.
Yeah.
of me at 4 in the morning just wondering what's happening. I just hear F3 racetrack. I was like, okay, let's go.
But it's so intriguing, like with when I spoke to you over the phone and even your parents.
Yeah.
And I say like the whole experience, like you can't put no money, you can't put nothing to it, isn't it? Like being on track and then seeing you race, just everything in general. And I think people don't appreciate that, like these certain experiences you can never get. So I think like that's the most important thing, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, there's a quote that Kobe Bryant did say that when these good things happen, you gotta live in that particular moment, as that moment obviously won't last forever. And just the first kind of feeling of entering a track, for me personally, is a whole different world.
Yeah.
Everything outside just basically one gate is outside that gate for good.
Yeah.
It's focusing on that particular moment. Even if it's just driving to the pits for about a 5-minute journey, it's just witnessing like, right, there's a corner there, the grandstands are there, seeing all the team trucks are there, and then knowing what like particular garage I'm in and seeing the car that I'm going to be in.
Best feeling.
Nothing can touch it.
Yeah.
Like, as much as like all these supercars, I love it, but knowing a car that you're going to drive on that particular day, nothing can touch it. It's just, so when I leave the track, I'm happy that it happened.
Yeah.
But I was like, I want it again. Because obviously these things unfortunately, they don't fall out of the sky. We got to work for it.
Of course, we have to work hard for it. And do you know what I've always said to people as well, that the journey to your goal is always more important than actually reaching that goal, because the journey is there's a mixture of things. It's setbacks, it's success, it's going sometimes, like I've been going into depression, then coming out of it. There's so many mixed emotions, there's so many challenges and obstacles, but then there's something good, and then you say, like, it's a mixture. But then when it's the goal, it's just the goal. And it's like when you enjoy the journey and you just appreciate things more. And I think people don't do that. They just want, okay, I want that quickly, and it's like you get it, but then like you don't appreciate it, isn't it? So I always said to people that when you get things slowly and work hard at it, it lasts longer as well, isn't it? So I think that whole mindset shift, isn't it, as well? But it's hard. Like every day, it's hard to maintain a positive mindset as well.
Yeah, like
it's practicing. Like your mind is the hardest thing.
Yeah, when it comes to racing, it's the mentality, which I always try and emphasize, even on a daily basis.
Yeah.
That if you can't cope with some certain things to move forward, then I'm going to be brutally honest that you won't move forward from that.
Yeah, you won't.
So like there have been times where things have gone very quiet, and I'm thinking, is racing happening? And then every now and again, Mum and Dad always emphasize that there is stuff happening, because with what Mum and Dad tell me is that they don't want to tell me something that isn't actually set in stone.
Yeah. They
don't want to give me the high hopes, and then when they say to me it hasn't happened, it's tough for them, but they know the impact it's going to have on me.
Yeah.
So, because I've had that feeling before, where on my first F3 test, we actually had a sponsor that was going to sign for me to race in that particular year.
Yeah.
But when I actually got to the papers, the sponsor just disappeared out of thin air.
But how? Like, what did they say? Like, what happened? Like,
they didn't say anything. They just vanished.
They just vanished, basically.
No contact whatsoever. They just randomly disappeared.
So it's like leading you on. Like, that's people. That's what I understand with people. Like, if you want to do something, you do it. If you don't, then don't do it. Isn't it?
So that's what. As soon as Dad got the gist of it before I did.
Yeah.
I just turned 19 then.
Yeah. No, so parents know best, isn't it? They know, isn't it?
So when they told me, and that's when I realized, I was like, yep, the high hopes thing has just happened again.
Yeah.
But I said, right, I'm not going to let it bring me down like it did 2 years ago.
Yeah.
On that 2-year period, just going to bounce off it. And I'm here now, which is further than I actually ever thought I would be.
You would be.
As the way I've mentally trained myself is I don't have high expectations.
Yeah.
I just say if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It is what it is. Good or bad.
Yeah.
So I say if it comes, it comes. Or as my dad always says to me, if you've got something, bring it to the table, then talk to us. Don't say, this, that. If it's in there, just get a meeting sorted and actually talk about it, get it written down.
Yeah.
Discuss it.
Put everything into place and contracts and stuff.
He wants to have that solid foundation that you can tell me that something is there, not just something that's hovering they'll either be a reality or
Yeah, like in the middle, in and out, isn't it? Yeah, no, I do get that, because do you know what it is? People promise you a lot of things,
yes,
isn't it? So it's all word, there's no action, and that's always the case. And I do get that, because we always think, oh, like, oh, it's okay, that person will help us. But then sometimes I think it's for the best, because sometimes do you know what I realize? You get something better. And that's always the case. And I've experienced it and I've seen it as well. And like, you don't understand at that time, or why didn't this happen? Like, it doesn't make sense. It's supposed to be meant to be, isn't it? But then you realize that you get something 10 times better all the time. So like now, okay, that didn't work out, but then like hopefully soon you're going to get like one of the best investors, and you don't know from that it's going to even be better.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Touch what it happens.
Yeah. No, but it will.
Yeah.
Because obviously when we spoke on the phone, we're into the whole mindset. And obviously I watch your other podcasts, and I know there was questions around like, if you don't make that. But then do you know what it is? When you say, if I don't, and you have something to fall back on, then you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Because you have to push yourself, because then you think, oh, I already got plan B, is okay, I can sit back at that. Which is fine, because in life you need, they say backup plans and whatnot. But then I feel like when you're passionate and you want to do something, that's it. That's all you're going to do.
Yep.
Isn't it? There's so many people that have left their jobs and gone into like working for themselves, and they had to do it because that was their only way that they could survive. So how I see it as like using the correct words, obviously, like you will, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then obviously we're going to be on track
Yeah.
and experience it. So yeah, that's how I see it. And it's just the timing, because if you don't believe that something's yours, and if you don't believe in it, then how would other people, or then, how it won't basically, it will be going away from you then, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. So having, like we're saying about like saying will rather than hope. When you say will, it's that like manifestation.
Yeah.
Because it's just, when you say will, it sounds more motivational.
Yeah.
Than saying hope.
Yeah, I just hope so. Yeah.
It's because my parents want it that badly as well, that they've invested thousands upon thousands into me.
Yeah.
And I did promise them that, touch wood, I make my millions.
And which you will.
Yeah, I will do.
You will do.
I will give everything back.
Yeah, of course.
Even if it's like dad's dream car, mom's dream car, if my sister wants a Range Rover, fine by me.
Yeah. We just need some cupcakes.
Yeah.
Can you make mine gluten-free, please?
She does do that, actually.
Yeah.
Like, honestly,
it's quite big now, vegan, gluten-free, isn't it?
I'm not just saying it for the sake of it.
Yeah.
When my mum actually makes a gluten-free cupcake,
yeah.
I love how this turned to cupcake now, that they taste like they're not gluten-free.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? Yeah, you can't taste the difference.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's lighter on your stomach, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I stay away from those personally.
Yeah.
Only ones that I do touch are the chocolate ones, because she actually uses pure melted chocolate,
okay,
and not just the powder. So they're the ones I touch. Apart from that, I don't touch anything.
You don't touch anything, okay.
But yeah, back onto the topic.
Oh yeah, we're going back.
Yeah, that it's more powerful saying will rather than hope, as will sounds like we'll get there.
Yeah.
Like dad made a promise to me that I will be racing this year.
Yeah.
And I know my dad well enough, or at least I hope I do, that he doesn't just say promises just to have, like, relating back to the high hopes. Because I don't know what he's doing at home, but good things. I just know he's doing something.
Yeah, he's always in the background. Yeah. Do you know what is, like you said, like your parents are saying, things are happening.
Yeah.
And I think we don't realize that, like, when, God, or the universal God, like, aligns things and puts in contact with different people and stuff, we don't realize that, okay, things are working in the background, but the only thing is we just can't see it at the moment, and we see it when the time's right, isn't it? And obviously going back, you said about manifesting, like, we have to believe that we already have it, isn't it? So, like, you are a Formula 1 racer. Basically, I literally, like, when I speak about you, I just say, yeah, he's a Formula 1 racer. Because why not? Because obviously that's what you are, isn't it? And that's how I see it as. So yeah, actually another question that I was going to ask is that if you could give us a sort of background around, because there's different levels.
Yes.
So yeah, just a little background and insight, because I do have some knowledge, but I feel like more knowledge is better, isn't it? Yeah.
So I don't know why they've done it. So there's different ways of, I'm on the path to Formula 1. So
okay.
That's a whole different path compared to, let's say, British touring cars, which is all like the actual road car stuff.
Okay.
As I call it, road car racing.
Mm-hmm.
But the top is the top level of that. But I'm gonna stick with single seaters just to keep it simple. So from go karts, you would go to Formula Ford, which is
Okay.
pretty much just a cockpit shell
Mm-hmm.
with wheels. There's no aerodynamic parts involved. It literally is just a little tub with wheels like this thin. So then they're effectively drift cars when you see them drive.
Yeah.
Little Ford EcoBoost engines. Then there's GB4,
Mm-hmm.
which is a new category. And I've tested that car, and it's got some basic principles of the aerodynamics, the airflow, and etc. etc. So it's the minimum aerodynamic parts. Then there's British F4, which is the one above that.
Mm-hmm.
That's so before GB4,
Mm-hmm.
it was just Formula Ford, British F4, British F3, then etc.
Mm-hmm.
But now they've added this into it, the GB4 just comes in between. So British F4 is the one above, more aerodynamic, more faster.
Okay.
Then there's British F3, now known as GB3, which is what I'm testing in. So I skipped all of that.
So you skipped that and you went to GB3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when the karting career ended, we just jumped into a British F3 as it was called back then.
Okay. Awesome. Okay.
So
yeah.
there's a big step.
Yeah.
But knowing my own abilities and what Dad's seen in me,
Mm-hmm.
and he's always been, so he's not afraid to tell me my language if I'm shit driving.
No, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
that's the way he wants the best out of me.
Yeah.
And
So he's gonna push you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm crap, he'll tell me I'm crap.
Yeah.
Funny story actually. Then going back to the single seater stuff.
Yeah.
So there was this one practice day, the race weekend, and my driving was not the best.
Okay.
Like Dad came over, he was like, "Why are you driving like a twat? Just drive properly."
Yeah.
So I was 5th or 6th, and I was like, "Dad, the car's not fast." He's like, "The cars are fast. You're just driving crap.
Yeah.
So stop being a twat and just drive properly." Next session, I was fastest by half a second. Because I was like,
Because yeah.
in my head, I was thinking, I don't like being called a twat. and I was 13, 14 at that time, so I was like, well, I don't like it.
Yeah, because it's a bit upsetting, isn't it, when
Yeah,
your
so
parents
so-
shout at you and stuff,
so
isn't it? Yeah.
so I was like, fine. When he came back, he was like, "See, what did I tell you?" And I was like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
We don't
Yeah.
realise, isn't it, when people actually push us, it's actually is really for the best, isn't it?
Yeah.
And do you know what it is? People only push us when they can see potential. So obviously your dad pushed you when you were 13, 14, because he can see how awesome you are. He can see how great you are. Like, you've got so much potential, but it's just, when we're young, it's not like we're scared, but we're just a bit, like, I don't know, a bit frightened to kind of show the world a little bit, isn't it?
I would say, like, it's not being frightened, it's the fact that I know I can drive. Dad's told me I can drive, and he wouldn't have invested this far if I was a crap driver.
Yeah.
So he knew what I could do. He just goes, just stop messing about and just do your job right. So it wasn't that frightening. It was just he put me into place.
Yeah, he's keeping you on track.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes with you.
So he's always been like that, even when F3, because so when it comes to racing, there's consistency involved. Consistency is what wins races.
Yeah.
And it's been proved.
Yeah.
So in my karting days, I was consistent a lot, but then again, the inconsistency and consistency was balancing out, so it was a bit of a niche type of consistency.
Yeah.
But when I jumped to car racing, that's when Dad actually saw what my true consistency was actually like. That's when he saw my times were literally within a tenth of each other. Some laps were within a hundredths of each other.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, "What was all the karting inconsistency about?" I said, "I don't know. There's a car which is a full-on race car, and I like it.
Yeah.
And I'm showing it." Anyways, back to the question you asked before I went on topic.
No, it's okay.
So there was British F3,
Mm-hmm.
and then with this F3 and F4 stuff, there's different categories in that category.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's British F3. There's not European. There's Asian F3, German F3.
Oh wow. Okay, there's
So
quite a lot.
Every continent or country
has an
its own
F3.
individual F3, F4,
Okay.
Formula Ford. But keeping it simple,
Mm-hmm.
above me is the FIA F3, which is
Okay.
what's the next step in my chapter.
In your chapter. Okay. Okay.
That's where they race on the same race weekends as F1. So this
Okay.
weekend they're in Australia.
Yeah.
There's F3 there, which is like, so you see all these drivers backed by F1 teams. There's Formula 2, and there's only one of those.
Okay.
That's this weekend as well,
Mhm.
and obviously F1. So it's those.
So it's like three above on where you are now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So they're the main three.
Okay.
But I've got to get experience, which is why I'm trying to seek trying to find multiple sponsors and investors.
So you can
So I
race
can
on
actually
track.
progress more,
Okay.
because at the moment we're funding it out of our own pocket.
Yeah.
So trying to get sponsors involved and on board, especially trying to make history.
Yeah.
As being the first Sikh Formula One driver
Of course.
out there, and the community in the Sikh community especially, it can be done.
Of course, it can be done. Yeah.
So, another thing I wanted to touch on about like us Sikhs. So referring back to the mentality side.
Yeah.
So every morning, it's thanks to my mum personally. I listen to I made a playlist. It's called my prayers playlist
Yeah.
in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna say it wrong again, as I always say it wrong. It's called Sas Simran,
Yeah.
I think. And it just gives a good motivation, good cup of vibes in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
And then every evening, like, our gods like Babaji and etc. Well, the one Babaji up there.
Yeah.
I always do prayers to him every evening to basically say, just get me racing.
Yeah.
As that's like that manifestation
Mm-hmm.
thing, and it always helps with the mentality side of things as well. So that's what keeps me level-headed,
Yeah.
as well as I just feel more relaxed after that.
No, of course, I understand that. Like even every day, my nanny in that play, like Bard, it comes on the BTC. Yeah, so we was playing it, and I was like, obviously love. Do you know what? I should actually expand my knowledge in that, like the different parts, what it's called. But it was always the last one that plays. Like it's one of my favorite ones. But it's true. It just when you listen to it, it is there's a whole feeling is different, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I think it's when you listen to it, you know that you're supported,
Yeah.
and then you have that trust in God as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So.
And you know He will listen.
Oh
But it's just that, again, it's a bit like that time when things are into place.
Yeah. So there's a few quotes which I live by, which is by Denzel Washington and Kobe Bryant
Yeah.
in particular. They're the two figures that I look up to.
Mhm.
That's not related to racing.
Yeah.
As my two racing idols is Sebastian Vettel
Mm-hmm.
and Schumacher, Michael
yeah.
Schumacher. But off track is Kobe Bryant and Denzel Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So Denzel Washington he said, I'm trying to remember now. There's two quotes which I live what he said. He goes, "Fall forwards, not back. At least I know what I'm going to see."
That's true. Yeah, but okay.
Yeah.
I like that one. Yeah.
The other one is put God first before anyone else.
And that is very true.
As he's going to be there regardless. See, there may be lifetime partners, friends, and etc. But
Everyone eventually leaves us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
Then Kobe Bryant, which is what is currently happening, I would say right now,
Mm-hmm.
is no matter what happens, the storm eventually ends.
Of course, like they say,
And-
it doesn't rain forever.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
when the storm ends, you got to make sure that you're ready.
Yeah.
So the way I'm seeing it is, even though I've had so many positives, it's still in that storm period.
Yeah.
That things have been set in stone, but there's no initial, the break hasn't come yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Like the ice hasn't cracked yet, but you know it's there because do you know what it is? You have that feeling in the bottom of your stomach, don't you? That it's coming. Like you're just like 5% away. It's like it isn't even that much, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that.
So I've got a couple of sponsors from last year in particular.
Okay.
As the title of the first Sikh Formula One driver is starting to kind of come to life. It's taking
Yeah.
its time.
But which is good.
Yeah,
When it takes time, yeah.
It's taking its time, as
Yeah.
in, this podcast wouldn't have happened if you didn't see that. Or,
Of
Yeah,
course,
so-
yeah. It's making that awareness.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't do that, like Instagram ad, like how would we know? So you putting yourself out there, it was like, oh, okay. And obviously then it's word of mouth. I've told all my friends, family, like, okay, the first Sikh Formula One race, and they're like, okay, so they're aware. So it's like, it's back of the head, isn't it? So it's like, yeah.
So the two, I just need to do this.
Yeah.
So for my sponsors wise, there's Diamante Jets, which is on my merchandise, which is coming soon.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I know that's been asked a lot.
Yeah.
There's SUV Prestige, who are funding my helmet. It's not this one.
Is that the new, and you get the new one in May?
Yeah, I'm getting
Yeah.
a new one. So
It's awesome.
this is my actual helmet that I use. So this one's wrapped, but it's made out of carbon fiber.
Okay.
So if I hand it to you,
Yeah.
I can see how light it is.
Oh, that is like, I always assumed that it would be heavier.
My
Isn't
other
it?
one is, but because that's a carbon fiber shell,
Yeah.
because we weighed it. The other one weighs about a kilo.
Yeah.
This one's about 600 grams.
Oh, so that is really light.
Yeah.
I don't know why I always thought they would be heavier. And I always thought that because obviously, protection, the whole protection, isn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously that you've got inside, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your helmet's awesome.
So SUV Prestige, they're a car dealership. They're funding my one coming in May.
Yeah.
It's this one, but better.
Okay.
A lot better.
Would you have the same colours or like,
It
yeah?
literally is the exact same colours.
Okay.
Because I've had the previous design of that, but it's missing a lot of detail. I'm not going to spoil it because I'm doing a helmet reveal soon.
Yeah.
But it's a massive revamp of the one that I just showed.
Okay.
So there's a lot more details involved. Things have kind of changed here and there. So you'll all see that in May. So keep an eye out. So follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Cheeky plugging. And yeah, another sponsor is like King of Diamonds as well.
Yeah.
I've got my own pendant with them, which should be coming
Awesome.
out soon as well.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm looking for multiple investors, sponsors to actually be part of this, long-term journey.
Yep.
I'm not looking for just a one-year deal. I'm looking for this to pretty much the end and forever.
Lifetime.
Lifetime. And yeah, that's all I can say is I'm trying to look for as many sponsors as I can to get to F1, as I have packages available as well. And there's huge, I can't emphasize this enough, there's going to be huge benefits to coming into the F1 paddock itself.
Of course.
Being surrounded by all the teams, Red Bull, Ferrari,
Exactly.
McLaren.
Exactly.
And if anyone's wondering that, okay, what if I invest? Like, what will I get back? I can say that in the packages or meetings that may happen. If it's to do with like monetary value, I can't say that for now, as to actually get to me earning a salary, it's just full on investment, and all I can offer is just business exposure, my merchandise, my suit, the car, helmet, upon discussion, as that's personal to the drivers. But the monetary value will start to come back when I'm actually making my money.
Yeah.
So if an investor wants 10% of my salary when I'm in my second year of Formula One,
Yeah.
if I'm on 5 million a year and 10% is 500,000, that's already theirs.
Exactly.
Out of
That's yeah.
So there's a lot involved, but all I can offer is just brand exposure.
Yeah.
And especially when we get to like Sky Sports, where there's millions of people, the more you invest, the bigger the logo is going to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like you see some of these drivers that some sponsors are like teeny tiny on the halos, and you see ones which is covering the whole car.
The whole car. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So the more you invest, the more you can get out of it.
Yeah.
And not just about business, like relationships. I want to build a personal relationship as well.
Yeah.
So I don't want anyone to think that I'm going to take the money and run away with it and never speak again. I'm not like that as a person.
He's gonna run away with his cupcakes.
Yeah. But no, so I just had to say that as I'm trying to emphasize that I'm at the doorstep of Formula One into that world, but I need that, just that break.
Just to open, you just that key to open the door.
When I'm in a race car, you guys will see me win.
Yes,
Like,
of course.
I'm not like bigging myself up. From my previous testings that I've had in F3, I've shown the potential. In fact, like speaking of that, I was my first ever F3 test. It was in the rain, so it was in Wales, ironically. That's how I first started racing, actually. My first ever F3 test with no experience. Rain, snow, thunder, lightning, 30-mile-an-hour winds, the worst conditions. And for me and my dad, it was, ironic. Something new and it always rains. That's just always been a trend.
Yeah.
And it hasn't stopped. So, and a top-level driver was there. He had 3-4 years of experience ahead of me because he'd done 2 years of British F4 at that time and then 1 year of British F3 ahead. So 3 years on that particular day. And first few sessions, I was pushing the car, then I was spinning, but there's a difference of spinning just because I was trigger happy on the throttle.
Yeah.
And and the other difference is spinning of knowing the limits of the car. And the team knew exactly what I was trying to do. They went to my dad that your son is spinning because we could tell he's pushing the car. He's knowing the limits of the car.
Yeah.
Even though he's never driven this thing before. So I'm using my own initiative as a driver that, right, what's the limit of this car? What can I get out of it? And what I cannot do, otherwise I'll be in the barriers.
Yeah.
Halfway through the day, I was matching the top level driver's times. He actually left halfway through the day. Didn't say bye to anyone, he just disappeared.
He just went.
And the team actually told us that the driver left because he couldn't, as if he was talking to my dad,
Yeah.
he couldn't catch your son.
That's amazing.
So
So he couldn't take it then.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm not trying to big myself up, but you can't, I guess, kind of talk back to just what happened, like that raw talent on that particular day.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's hard to believe.
Mhm.
Like, I can say that. But from what we saw and what the team said, we wouldn't like bluff anything to do with my career. So just that's the potential that you guys, or as a businesses, can see and will get.
Yeah.
As soon as I'm in a car, you guys will see me on the top step.
Mm-hmm.
I can't emphasize that enough.
Yeah. But you know what people say is like you said, showing off, but how I see it as it's self-belief.
Yeah.
Because if you don't believe in yourself, and so how do you expect investors or parents or partner like to believe in you then, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like you have to, and people think that always, is being arrogant or having ego. No, it's not, because I've always said that being arrogant to a certain extent is actually fine, because you need to believe in yourself. You need to have that confidence, because then it starts off from you, and then people be like, okay, seeing you in the track, you know what? Yeah, he's right. He is amazing. He is number one. So then, it makes sense after all. But then if you don't, then no one's going to believe in you, and there'll be nothing of you then, isn't it? Because that's like one element of like a foundation to yourself. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I personally think it's self-belief, and you do need to have that, especially like the career that you're going to go into, or you are into now, and just with anything, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, self-belief, I admit it's hard to do.
Yeah.
As self-belief is like self-motivation. If you can't motivate yourself to do something that you love, then it's kind of saying, what's the point, like, in doing it?
What's the point? Yeah.
Like, there has been tough times where I felt like that nothing's happening, but I always just tell myself that if you give up today, you're probably going to give up tomorrow.
Yeah.
And tomorrow could be your break.
Yeah, you just don't know what's around the corner.
And it's the fact that I've always said that I'm always preparing just for something. And my parents always say that something's going to happen.
Yeah.
You can't say when or where.
But something will come up. Yeah.
They just said just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
As Rocky, I can't remember the name of the actor, or I can't even say the name. Celestial Stone. Yeah, Rocky, he could just keep moving forward, as something will just happen.
That's what I'm saying. And I think there's a difference between taking a break and giving up. Sometimes we think, okay, we've taken a break. Is this the end? Like we spoke about before, but it's not. It's just that we pause. No, we're not initially pause. We're just sort of like on the fence a little bit. But then actually giving up is just worse, because nothing's going to happen then, isn't it? So sometimes you have to, I think sometimes taking a break or sort of sitting on the fence is good to reflect. And then when you reflect that, also you heal at the same time, and you just come out stronger. Yeah. Isn't it? Yeah, 100%. Definitely. Like I don't know what it is, I don't know how it works, but I've realized that since last year. You just come back stronger, you're more content, you're at peace. And then when you're in that mind frame, you can tackle things better, and you can do more. Yeah. Isn't it? Yeah.
I'd say that as well. So the last time I was out which was in the GB4 car, was in July. So it's always been a year.
Okay, so it's been yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long year because of my sister's wedding.
Okay.
So obviously the focus went to that. So
did she plan her own wedding? Because she's a man.
We've been telling her that, but she's like, nah, it's too stressful. It's too stressful. But no, I mean, the focus went to that, which is like, I love my sister to bits and my family. So
of course.
So they're like, Ceran, sorry that the focus on you kind of has to go to your sister. I was like, it's fine. I just know at some point it's gonna come back to me. Yeah. Because I want this. You all want this for me. Yeah. So I know it's gonna come back at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so just self-belief and self-motivation, I'll say, is very, very important. And with what you're saying about having a fallback, for me, it's racing or it's nothing else.
Yeah, that's the best way.
As already, like you said, if there's a plan B, you're not going to put as much effort into plan A as you would with B. So you, like you said, more relaxed on the plan B, and then you lose that touch with the plan A. Yeah. Because with me, like I said, it's racing or it's nothing. Yeah. And I won't settle for anything less than to be in a seat.
Exactly. Never settle for anything less.
It's the way I just thought about it just now is I want to be my own CEO.
Good.
I
Yeah.
indirectly, no offense to anyone out there, but I don't want to be under a CEO.
Of course.
Could be a managing director,
Yeah.
cool, but I want my own CEO. As you know, touch wood, make it F1. The amount of opportunities and foundations that I could potentially like set out. I could have my own academy.
Yeah.
Could open it all to the like little Sikh kids are coming up in racing.
That'd be actually awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Pick them up.
Yeah.
And be at like other events as well. Like in.
You'd be like you'd be a mentor for inspiring individuals, isn't it?
What these other F1 drivers are doing, like
Yeah.
Fernando Alonso, he may be 42. That's another thing I'm going to touch on in a bit.
Yeah.
Like he may be 42, but he's having his own management. So even though he's racing himself, he's managing other drivers in the junior categories that are under his.
He's like under his wing. Yeah.
So, I lost my train of thought then. Management.
No, so we're going back. Were you saying that this is it now? This is what you're gonna do? There's no plan B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there's no plan B. I want to be my own CEO.
Yeah.
And provide for my family for a start.
Of course.
And to give back.
Yeah.
Help little Sikh kids come up into their racing.
Mm-hmm.
And to just be the best that I can be. As every day I'm trying to be a better version of myself from the previous day.
How it should be.
So I'm doing as much as I can with what I've got. So I guess luckily now my degree is finishing.
Yeah.
Which I must emphasize that studies are important regardless.
Yes. Stay in school.
Yeah. My dad actually emphasized enough that if I don't do well in school, I won't be racing.
Okay.
And I tried to do well in school even though I hated it. But unfortunately, I hate it. I hated school, and hate's a strong word for me to say.
I found school very boring. I didn't think it was challenging enough.
It was, for me, it was a fact that because I was actually the only racing driver in the whole entire school.
Yeah.
From literally year 7 to 6th form.
Yeah.
I got a lot of crap from that.
I was going to touch on that actually, but yeah.
Crap was jealousy.
It's always jealousy and envy. Is because when people act a certain way and is a negative way, is a reflection of themselves.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Like they always used to say to me that, oh, you're Ceran, that I was competing with you on the weekend. I'll be like, yeah, fine, whatever.
So when you're going to become the F1, then they can watch you in Sky Sports.
Especially when in 2014 I was actually scouted by McLaren.
Okay. Oh, awesome.
That escalated a lot in school.
Yeah.
So like, oh yeah, like McLaren this and that, like you won't make it this and that, and I was just there. Being 13, 14, it's a bit like, ouch, okay. But I got to this and
this is what you...
Yeah. So I dealt with it in my own way. So that's why school, unfortunately, wasn't as fun as I wanted it
as you want, well, how it should be, because school is the best experience of your life.
It was supposed to be.
Yeah.
but no, I dealt with it in my own way, and I just kind of shut off from everyone in school, where I just got the work done. Like, it got to a point where my teachers were saying that, like, just like go to the library or something, as I was actually kind of ahead in some of my classes that I actually did enjoy.
That's
because other people ruined it for me. They just said, right, Ceran, you've done all the work, you can just go to the library, listen to music. They said,
just chill out,
just relax. Don't worry about the work, because we know you want to do it.
Yeah.
So just relax. I was like, all right. Then that's when people were like, is he okay? And I just said, I'm getting a lot of crap, I'm just dealing with it.
Yeah.
So what else can I do about it?
Exactly. And everyone deals with things in a different way. Because I was literally you answered my question, I was literally gonna ask about like negativity, and obviously people come out with all sorts. And do you know what it is? It's because these type of people, some people say it or some people think it. And you know when someone's thinking it, right? You just know because their body language, the way they look at you, and the words that they use. I've always said to people, always listen to the words that someone uses, because one word can make a difference on a whole sentence. And what I realize is that they don't believe in you. They're jealous because they can't do it. They're jealous that you've got self-belief and confidence to do it, because they don't have any of that. They don't have any of those qualities. And I've always said that there's only 10% of people in this whole world that have discipline and that are consistent. And that's why those people are successful, whether it doesn't matter which career path that they take. Yeah. Right? So, but then now that you see it but over time, you actually kind of feel sorry for these type of people, because they're small-minded people, and it's like all you do is talk about other people, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like the way I see it is that probably a bit negative because they're dealing with their own stuff as well.
Yeah, like
That's how I feel.
self-reflection. Yeah.
So I never say like, enemy or
No, no, no.
like I hate this person.
Yeah.
I say to people that is a person that I used to get along with, I had memories with. So they're
Yeah.
just like, an acquaintance.
Yeah.
I don't say like, I passionately dislike this person.
Mhm.
I just said, unfortunately, it's a person I have good memories with, and we both remember it, but now he's just changed personality.
But you outgrow people, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah.
So but I'm not saying anything bad about anyone.
No, as we shouldn't.
Everyone's
Yeah.
dealing with their own problems, and
Of
obviously we don't
course.
see what they see.
Yeah.
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 So like when you say about negativity, that for me, the way I sometimes see it is just, I get this sense from my mum is just the presence. Like whenever she says something's not right, just by not even being around anyone, she goes, this place doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Something
It's the energies that are around,
Yeah.
isn't it? You can feel it.
So it's not really words from anyone that it's just the energy.
Yeah.
That's how we go about it, because we don't, knowing me and my family, we don't say anything bad about anyone.
No, of course
you
not.
know,
Of course
Karma
not.
can have its ways.
Yeah,
when it
yeah.
wants
And we
to.
shouldn't, to be honest. Like you said,
Yeah.
we don't know what other people are dealing with, but at the same time, you just think that, okay, why is a person like this? And you think, you know what, just leave it. Because like you said about karma, in a way, if they think bad or say bad, they will get their karma. So like we said, we're going to leave it with God. And as Guru Nanak's teachings, he's always said, you never, ever do bad to anyone. You always help people. You even help your enemy, especially, feeding,
Yeah.
Yes, and it should be like that. If someone thinks bad of you, let them. Because sometimes, it is, I think, and what I realize, just showing them love will make them change their mind, because maybe they haven't been loved in a certain way, isn't it? Yeah. So even doing that, they just kind of think, okay, it's something that they're lacking, isn't it? So yeah, you are spot on with that.
Like me being 22 and saying all of this, I wouldn't, 21 or 20-year-old Ceran wouldn't be saying this right now.
No. You are mature for your age. Yeah.
Because that's the first thing that's the first thing to my parents, and racing has actually helped me with that.
That's good.
As I'm preparing myself for the future, that I can't say what 21-year-old Ceran would say.
Yeah, true.
I'm not saying anything bad of what I'd be saying.
Yeah.
But just like, I always refer back in that sense. So whatever negativity happens for a reason.
Yeah, it happens.
And
makes you stronger.
Past, yeah. And when it's in the past, it's in the past.
Yeah, you just leave it there.
Never ever look back.
Never.
Because if you look back, then self-doubt starts to kick in. So that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
But it's always, literally, as Denzel Washington said, fall forward. At least I know what I'm going to see.
Exactly. And that is, that's a perfect quote, actually.
Yeah. There's a recent quote, so I was like, I actually took that to heart.
Yeah, even when you said it, it's like it's something, it's so true. But then at the same time, with quotes, I realize that you have to kind of implement them in your life as well, isn't it? Like even like reading about positivity and mindset, blah, blah. Implementing it is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And then believing it and then every day practicing it. And it is hard. It is very hard.
Indeed. So like I'm at the self-belief that my dad tells me when I'm good and when I'm bad. But it was from that initial F3 test when all my family said that you can actually drive.
Yeah.
Not that we didn't believe you could do it, but seeing you in those conditions and driving.
Yeah.
To me, like when I had my own 5 minutes, even I was thinking, I can actually drive properly.
Yeah.
Like it's not just go-karts again when all the different scenarios that happened had like kicked us in the back. But in an actual high-performance race car, and knowing that I can drive, and even when I watch through my own footage, even I'm thinking, that's not someone else. That's actually me taking.
That's me doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I
your mum said that, she was like, when you see Ceran drive, I'm so fast around corners. She's like, I can't believe it.
Yeah, especially because when it comes to racing, smoothness.
Yeah.
Is a massive factor. Obviously, other drivers have their own styles of driving. Some may be a bit more twitchy behind the wheel, but for me, it's always been the delicacy of like behind the steering wheel.
Yeah.
So when I watch my camera footage, I'm thinking, I'm not twitching whatsoever. I'm going through this corner at 90 miles an hour, and I'm just cool.
And it's so smooth.
Yeah. So that's what my dad loves the most, and he goes, "Don't ever lose that."
Yeah.
As even if it's like twitching like this.
Because you can see it. Yeah, you're right. Actually. Yeah. No, I do get that. Because it's so smooth, and it just shows that how much control you have at such a high speed, isn't it?
Yeah. So racing is something that one I didn't expect to actually be as when I was a kid. Well, I'm still a kid,
Yeah.
but when I was in primary school, I actually
Yeah.
wanted to be a cop.
Oh wow.
That was
Okay.
my actual first
Okay.
kind of experience of fast cars.
Yeah. Yeah. You can be in the blues and twos, isn't it? Yeah.
literally. And then no, I went to something that
But now it's just.
basically
But this is
racing.
But it's one of the best things, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's your passion, and that's it. You're gonna pursue it.
For me personally, racing is the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I'm going to continue doing it.
Of course.
And nothing is going to
Just-
stop me from
yeah.
doing it.
Yeah. It won't, and you won't let it. To be honest,
No.
isn't it?
No,
It
no.
won't. Doesn't matter what comes your way. You're just gonna. Yeah. You're gonna
Yeah.
focus on what your goal is, and that's it.
Like nothing is gonna come in my way to get me into a race car. No matter how much negativity that could happen or potentially or unfortunately will happen.
Mm-hmm.
But racing is what I see, and my family, they're obviously like my rock personally.
Yeah.
They've backed me up until this very point and still continue to
Yeah.
do so. Nothing will stop me from seeing the trophy and seeing a race car with my name on it. And touch wood, it would be Ferrari.
Yeah.
wouldn't
I was gonna
complain.
say which. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't complain if it's like Red Bull, McLaren, or anything, but to have a
You-
prancing horse is
Yeah.
the dream.
Yeah.
Especially, in the headlines, a Sikh kid has actually signed a contract with Ferrari.
With Ferrari, it's such a big thing,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And also with all the Ferrari fans as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's endless.
Yeah.
Or even if it's with Red Bull as well. Because all teams have their own reputation. They're all world championship winning teams.
Yeah.
So even if it's with the lowest team, there's always a way of working myself.
Of course.
Working the way up
Yeah.
in the category. So
Yeah.
it's racing or nothing for me. And unfortunately, even though my degree is going to get me somewhere, it's not what I'm relying on.
You need to
for my
do
career.
something. You need to do. I've always said, do what you love, or just don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't. You can't be miserable in something just because it. Like obviously, money is important, but obviously at the same time, so is your passion,
Yeah.
and you have to pursue that.
So
So,
like without and another thing with Denzel Washington, I'm referring to him a lot recently. Is without dreams, there's goals.
yeah.
So you can dream all you want, but there's got to be goals to get there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, dreams don't just fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
Pretty sure 99% of us wish it could,
Yeah.
but you got to work your way through it with the consistency, the determination will get to that
Discipline,
dream.
all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to have goals to get to the dream.
Yeah. You start off with short goals,
Yeah.
and then then there's like long-term goals, and yeah, that's the best
So-
way.
Yeah, those quotes have hit me a lot, but I relate to it.
Yeah.
And the main thing obviously is with Kobe Bryant that we're in a storm right now, but eventually it will end.
Yeah, because I would say nothing lasts forever, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So that's how I see it as, and I think that's one of the best quotes, to be honest, because I do sometimes I feel down and I go back into sort of like the dark place and stuff, but sometimes it's good as long as you can get yourself out there really quickly, and then
Yes.
so sometimes it's dangerous, but you need to have that strong mind, isn't it? So,
Yeah. So like touching a little bit on like the mental health side, because I
Yeah.
think that's a whole deep topic.
deep, yeah.
that I can't relate to anyone who who's had depression
Mhm.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I know somewhat of what it's like to be in the darkness where literally you think nothing's going on.
I know.
But for me, that was like a breaking point. Like that's where I actually was on the phone to parents. I was like, nothing's happening, no simulator sessions, no F3, no nothing. And then immediately my sister rang as she has like an anxiety,
Yeah.
and she goes, "Don't worry about that. Just it will happen."
Yeah.
From what I know, as I'm talking as if I was my sister, stuff is happening. You
Yeah.
just gotta get yourself out of there. And then my dad called. He goes, "Don't go into that dark place.
Yeah. Don't.
As
It's dangerous.
As it's tough to get out of there."
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, people live in that darkness. But
Yeah.
the strongest come out of that dark place.
Yeah.
Like you said with yourself. So
Yeah.
it's if you got the drive for it, then go for it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Don't settle for anything less.
Oh, never,
than
never.
what you're chasing for.
Yeah, never settle for anything less. Because then that shows what type of person you are, and it shows that what you think of yourself.
Yeah.
So if you kind of just go for anything, then you think of yourself not valuable. But people think, oh, he's being picky. No, it's actually knowing what your value is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah,
And it's the kind of reality of it as well, that you can always fight for something out there, not just settle for what's happened to you.
Yeah.
So it's just like I said, racing is what I'm fighting for.
Yeah.
This is what gets me up every day, and
It's your passion.
yeah, passion, and I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah, you will.
I am going to be the world's first Sikh Formula 1 driver.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we'll be in the crowd watching.
Yep.
With our wine and stuff.
You'll be in the paddock then, actually.
Oh yeah, I will be. Yeah, of course.
So a little tiny announcement that's happening as well. Just a cheeky more plug in.
Yeah.
So obviously, Pooj is a fitness personal PT.
Fitness coach, yeah.
Fitness coach.
Yeah.
So we've actually announced a little mini partnership between us. So she's actually sponsoring me to train me in the racing aspect, and as a basic example, Pooj actually said all she wanted was to be at the track.
Yeah.
As an agreement, and I said to her, the first thing I said to Pooj was, as a PT, you would be at the track regardless.
Yeah.
You're gonna be there literally, even if it's holding my helmet bag or something. You're just gonna be there.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the situation is. And I said that the first thing I said to you was, I'm looking to have you on board for F1 and forever on. Yeah. Not just PT, but personal as well.
Yeah.
And I can imagine the smile on your face when you said that.
Yeah.
So, Pooj Fitness is actually my sponsor to train me to actually get into F1. Yeah. As it is.
So we're going to make this little announcement once we finish.
Yeah.
But thank you for today, Ceran. Honestly, it has been a really good talk, and we've been waiting for ages. But like we said, obviously, when the time's right, then and today was the right time, right? Mm-hmm. Even outside of weather, that's horrible. But before we sort of finish off today, I'm going to ask you, just to finish off this episode, 5 rapid questions. So you have to answer very quickly, okay?
Oh boy, this is
yeah.
fun.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right, we're going to start.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you grow up?
Bristol.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay. Would you ever try stand-up comedy?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Do you believe in soulmates?
Yes.
Yep. Summer or winter?
Winter.
Okay. Are you winter baby?
Yes.
Okay, that's why. Night out or night in?
Night in.
Oh, okay. I knew you was going to say that. Yeah.